Hey guys, what's up? It's G from Printzebra. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show y'all how I do my settings on the EPSON F570. If you don't know what the EPSON F570 is, it's a wide format dye sublimation printer that prints out 24 inches wide. It comes with paper rolls of up to 150 feet. So if that's something you're interested in, let's get into it. A lot of people ask me in the comments, what is my settings like? So I'm going to show you guys what I did and what my settings are currently set as step by step in this video. Then I'm going to show y'all what I do when I go to print, just in case you're confused. Now keep in mind, these things may vary depending on what you're printing. You may want things different, but hopefully if I show you exactly what I'm doing, you guys can figure out exactly what you need to do. Let's go into settings. First we go into settings, we hit general. So we got basic settings on the top and click basic settings. LCD brightness is to the max. The sound, I got mute off. The sound is in normal mode. You could toggle normal mode and do error notice and the sound type. The sleep timer is on 15 minutes. Now, I did do this. I changed the sleep timer to 15 minutes. I had it on 30 minutes. I think out of the box it's set for an hour, but the sleep timer is, it just turns your printer off after a while if you don't use it. In my case, it's 15 minutes. So if you go in here, you see you can do it from 1 to 60 minutes. I chose 15 minutes because of 15 minutes with inactivity. Now, obviously, must have forgot that I left it on. Alright, so right under that is wake from sleep, and then all you gotta do is touch the LCD screen to wake it, and then it tells you the power off timer. So what it does is 30 minutes of inactivity and it'll cut off. You could set it up to 12 hours if you want to. 30 minutes seems like the minimum. Now it says circuit breaker interlock startup. I didn't touch that. You could set your date and time. Language, of course, English. Let's see what other languages you could change it to. Okay, they got a plethora of languages here for everyone to be engaged. Just in case you guys are watching this in a translated video, you see what languages they do. So that's the language settings. I got mine set to English. Operation timeout, we got that on. Now I don't know why that's on. I never touched it. As you see right here, it's telling you if you want to have your length unit measured by feet, inches, or meters, and I chose feet and inches. Okay, so then you click on printer settings. You got paper source settings. Right in here, you got roll paper setup. You could use this when you're setting up the printer and putting the paper in. This detects the size of it. Here it says error notice. And it'll let you know if your paper size is too small or if you got in the wrong paper in the wrong settings. That's what that's for. I got that turned off. And this is after print options. After print options is great, especially if you don't have a tray. What happens here is the EPSON SC F570, it comes with a tray. But me, in my case, I don't like to use it. This will let you hold the paper so your print doesn't just fall out on the floor if that's something that's important to you. You don't want your work to go sliding across the floor. So you can have it hold the paper after it cuts it, and it'll hold it in there and you'll pull it. It's a little slight pull, but it's holding on the paper. So I leave it on there as whole paper. So we got custom paper settings. If you wanted to set your custom paper sizes, and if you had special paper, like you could set one for photo paper, stuff like that. Printing language, universal print settings. I haven't touched any of this stuff. Most of this stuff, I went in here and it was like plug and play. And the only time I messed with anything was when I had an issue. The issue that you guys, I guess, are basically asking me about, and y'all know with the network settings, those vary. The issue that you guys are basically asking me about is how come the prints come out in different colors or not sublimated as bright as mine were. And there's a lot of reasons that could be for that, and I am going to explain all of those through this video, so make sure you listen carefully. Security settings, if you want to have a admin password and lock it and all of that, no, I don't need to do that. Okay, so you could click there, restore your default security settings, and here's where you go for a firmware update. Now, I clicked on that the other day. I'm gonna click on it now, and see the notification for mine is set to on. So it lets me know when I need a firmware update. So I had done that the other day. And if you click on it right now, it'll start checking for a firmware update, which I know I don't have one because I would have been notified. Those are basically the general settings. Now, I'll go through as fast as possible. This tells you the maintenance box, the way I get the colors to pop. When I tell you the pressure levels and each step, all of those little details matter for you to get a popping print. And my final printer settings will probably ensure it. If you copy this video from start to finish, and for some of you, it's going to be a lot of wasted parts of the video because I got to show you guys this to make sure everybody knows about all of the settings. Okay, so after the general settings, and you check maintenance, you can check the language, you could check the printer status, and then you can make it printer status sheet right there. You could check the network. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my settings. All of these settings, like the paper setting, is when I'm using roll paper, I switch it to roll paper. When I'm using auto sheet feeder, I switch it to auto sheet feeder. If you want to just cut one sheet and just use one cut sheet, then you can just switch it to that. I usually do all of the switching and settings in the computer. So let me take you to the computer. Okay, so now we go over here to our computer so we can print. I already pre-made my designs and got them laid out. I'm making promotional hand towels on this run, and I'm going to show you how to sublimate promotional hand towels. Now, I already pre-made these designs. They over here. All I did was right click them, copy, and paste them into here, right? So this is what size paper I'm going to use, 17 by 40. Now 40 is a little bit long, but it's okay for this print. And we want to make sure that we got enough room for our designs on the paper. So after you get to this point, this is what you guys want to see. So what I do is I press file, then I press print, or you could do Command P. But right here, the reason why that's looking crazy right here is because of this. So first of all, you want to make sure you got the right printer. I got an EPSON SC F570, so we are in the right series. But here it has an IP address. Yes, the EPSON WWF7710 is also a sublimation converted printer that we did. I never made a video on it though. We converted that. We had that first before we bought this. Okay, so we select this and that automatically goes to my printer. Right now, the reason why it switched to the right settings is because it's the last used settings. Right, the last used settings was the same size as this, 17 by 40. But if yours is not set to the size paper that you set it to, now you could have set it to, you know, you could be using a 24 by 12 page. I don't know. So you got to make sure you get that right. Once you got that right, and if you don't know how to change these numbers here, just click on this, right, and click on Manage Custom Sizes. And when you see this, you'll be able to change here your width and your height to match the exact paper size that you wanted. Then you click OK. All right, now you got that part done up here. How many copies do you want? We only want one for this time, and we want to click right here for range and scale. That's what we're dealing with now. That's the window we're in, the range and scale. So everything is good. We got it. We didn't touch none of this. As you've seen how I fixed this stuff that people normally mess with, I just did the right size here and it went good. So this is what you need to do. Okay, so this, I don't mess with document and layout. I don't mess with bleed and marks because I don't use that stuff. So I don't mess with it. But there are some situations where I did need to bleed some of the ink off of a design when I was ready to cut it, but the other program I was using had that. Okay, so the layout, just in case you're having layout issues, just make sure it's selected to this. Okay, color matching is a big one, right? Now see what mine is synced on to iMac, right? Didn't always have an iMac when I had this printer. I had a Mac Mini. I haven't tried it with a PC, right? I did try it with EPSON color controls. And when you use EPSON color controls, it may come out a lot darker than you normally used to. So you might want to get it a little bit more accurate than that. In my case, I'm using a new 24-inch iMac. So they have preset settings already set. But if I was you guys, I would press automatic. If you want to really go get technical and you have a specific color profile that you like to use, you could try out the EPSON sRGB, the standard sRGB gamma. I don't know. You could try all of these, and pretty sure that if you try each and every one of them on printing something very small, you'll come across with your exact one that you want. I'm lucky enough to just be able to select iMac and move on. So after that, you want to come back to color matching tab here and look at paper handling. That's automatic. I don't touch it, but that's how that's set, just in case you didn't want it to see. There's no cover page. There's no sense in going in there, but just so in case you want to see, that's how it looks. And printer settings, right? Okay, I'll make sure that this is correct again, and you make sure that your paper size is correct. Right here in printer settings, it's just asking you the paper size, and you tell them, and this already should be set. If you set it where I showed you, this all will be set. And you just set this same as paper size. If you want it to fit to the roll paper width, this is actually changing your design size, and it possibly could stretch your design out of the correct shape. Just follow the steps that I showed you. That's the only way I know that it works for sure. Okay, I'm not saying that it doesn't work these other ways, but the way that I know. Okay, so we leave it as same as paper size. And paper source is my roll paper. I'm using my 17-inch wide roll paper. Okay, on the media type, I always use DS transfer, general purpose / textile. And I tell you the truth, this was like this when it first came, general purpose. So my paper wasn't rigid, so I just picked that, and that's what I've been using ever since. So this I don't touch, and this stuff I don't touch. Quality, you could touch this. You could either put it on speed, max quality, or leave it on regular quality, medium quality, like how I got it. It prints very clear, very good, and high speed. And you may want to alter it. If you do for better quality, it's up to you, but that's where you do it. And here you just go back up to this toggle arrow now that all that's done and checked out. Advanced, right? In advanced, we're going to leave it as normal cut. You could toggle that, and if you don't want the paper to cut, you turn it off. But I don't know why you wouldn't want it to cut. But if you wanted things to auto rotate and save roll paper and do all of this stuff, you could mess with that. But I don't mess with this stuff. So it's pretty simple. you basically use what's theirs. Is you don't have to change much. So I think that's part of it that made me happy. Now, the reason why I didn't flip the design is because this printer is automatically gonna flip the design by itself unless you tell it not to. So we want to let it go ahead and do what it do, and let's get printing. So gonna hit print. Okay, the print is complete. You see it's holding the paper, and you can pull it off lightly like that. Here's the print. It's pretty big. We're gonna make 2 hand towels. Now we're gonna cut our printer off. And prepare for sublimating.